Good day, everybody. It's Max, and welcome back to InfraSpace, the experiment. That's right. And in this episode, we are continuing on with the building of the things, of all the housing. You betcha. With my playthrough, of course, you did it the way the kind of game expected you to play, right? You built some houses, you built some factories, you built some more houses, you built some more things, you built some houses, you built some oxygen, you built some houses, and finally you got to the end of the game. You probably tripped over yourself half a dozen times, and that's the way it went. This time, we're just building all the houses, right? We're building houses. We're building houses everywhere. Then we're going to try and slam in all the industry behind that housing. Now, there's only one catch, so let's get into the game and let's talk about it. Okay, welcome back. And in this episode, of course, what we want to do is we want to take this and keep making more of it. Lots more of it. But let's talk about our one little quirk, right? Obviously, there's no need for people to be moving in. Right? I have 3,700 places for people to live, but there's only 133 people here. Why is that? Well, they've got no reason to come here, right? If we look at the single landing pad with the really cool ship coming in, you betcha. Hey, yeah, that's right. You land that thing, boom. Immigrants moving in, like immigration rate low. Right? There's no reason for them to live here, right? I mean, what are we doing? We're providing them oxygen. Yay, us. We don't even provide survival food yet. And we're not going to this episode either. And that is a thing. So what we have to do is we have to keep the 133 people that we have, by the way, are all working in the oxygen or in the plants, right? They're all working in these plants, making the O2 of the things. And then, of course, when I make a neighborhood, like you see 100 trucks drive out all of a sudden and they go fill all the oxygen up in the houses. Now, there's nobody in these houses, so there's nobody breathing the oxygen that's stored there. That's great. That's exactly what we want. Until we get more people moving in, this is perfectly fine. This is fine. So what we want to do, of course, is we want to keep building this out. Now, we're going to have these kind of neighborhoods, right? So like this will be a neighborhood. And then I'm going to build another one up here, which will be a neighborhood, right? It will get its own landing pads. It will get its own things. It will not be joined in to travel back and forth, or that's my plan anyway, between that city and this city. And why is that? One of the big things, and I'm going to show you an example of, is all the crisscrossing of the things tends to really jump up your roads, right? So this is now my concrete factory. This is it. This is it right here. You notice it's not attached to the city in any way. It's not attached to anything in any way. I mean, it's getting its own little storehouse. Yay, storehouse. And this is what it's doing. It's just making concrete and storing it here for me to use. That's great. Now, this concrete is not needed anywhere, right? Yes, we use it as a building material, but it's not like any of these factories say, hey, I need concrete as an ingredient. No, you don't. So why would I attach this to any of my roads and cause any traffic being caused from this? Especially if I decide to expand concrete later on. I'm not going to. So that is the thing. A lot of the construction I do will be self-isolated. It'll be self-independent. It will not be using the city roads or even its own or cross fractions of other roads to actually do a thing. It'll just be self-isolated and self-contained. It's going to be great. Hopefully. I don't know. But we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to build some more neighborhoods. Yeah, that's the thing I'm going to do. We're going to build a lot more neighborhoods. I'm going to build a whole bunch more neighborhoods. And at the very end of those neighborhoods, we might try to squeeze in a little bit of blue science to get this check mark to go away. So let me get busy, because it takes a while to build this. This is, this doesn't just pop up in like 10 minutes or anything. This is like, you're looking at a few, well, actually more than a few hours. And we're gonna pop this all up. We know we want to build at least a couple more zones. I'll probably expand this one just a little bit more. We know we want to build a zone up in there, and I'd really like to build one more zone over here, and then maybe run science up in here. The question is going to be, is that L shape up there going to be enough for the science while I run a second or a third neighborhood over here? So we're going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I'll bring you back. Okay, I thought I'd bring you back here to show you a quick update. And so, of course, this here is the original area. Ooh, thanks, Mountain. This is our original area, of course, which is holding our 3,700 people. We will continue to expand this area up a little bit higher into this zone here. Now, these lines here are just guidelines to handle the expansion of Zone 2. Now, Zone 2 will eventually become another living zone, very much like Zone 1 down there, and we will continue pushing this zone up to about here. Now, we, of course, will need to have operational areas for this zone. So, of course, we have some area here. We have a little bit of area over here with lots of resources in both sides. So that is why those are being left behind. Now, Zone 3... of course, is also underway. Zone 3 is fairly large, and maybe a little larger than I had anticipated, but is coming along quite nicely. Of course, it is going to be trying to handle our science zone as well because of the resources of the iron, uranium, iridium, and of course aluminum, all within a relatively easy space to get a hold of. So of course we're going to try and push some of that science zone over here. Now, unfortunately, this mountain has like 2 mountains on it, which is an unfortunate side effect. Again, it's part of the challenge of the map, and that's fine. That being said, it definitely does not make this any easier to try and design a science zone over here once I've got the rest of this laid out. So, of course, what we're going to do is I'm going to continue on. Well, yeah, of course I am. I've got this one mostly gridded out, and we'll be starting to house plant it shortly. Hence my one house for measurement. This one here, of course, I've got the parallel lines running up, but now I've got to try and start boxing it off, and of course that will take a little bit of work. Now, I do have this zone over here. It's a fairly large zone. I just don't think it has the resources required to make it work for a science zone. It would be very tricky, I think, to get some of this to work, but you never know, and there is a fair amount of room in here as well as both of these plateaus. Well, okay, I say that, but that aluminum ore, look at that drop, right? That isn't happening, right? But I might get lucky enough that we may be able to do something with this area as the science zone. But either way, we have a couple of choices for science zones, but we're not there yet. So I'm going to keep plugging away at putting down the housing of the things, because housing of the things has to happen. And and so I'll bring you back once we've got more of that done. Okay, so in this case, we are plodding along. Of course, we're putting down our houses, we're getting in our streets, and we're running into lots of lag, all kinds of lag. I'm actually very surprised because there's no traffic, but in several cases there are lag spikes all over the place. you know, which I have to kind of slow down. And I mean, that's kind of weird, you know. It's not like I'm playing on Mr. Cheesy computer, you know. Like I'm playing on a computer. But the other thing is, of course, is I was running out of concrete. So I decided, you know what, we're going to stop here for a sec, and we're actually going to put in the research. Now, we only need blue research for a start. So what I've done is again, down here in the land of just cut off everything, what we've done is I've hooked up one road to our working resources, because we're going to need the carbon out of these, and this is the only way to get carbon at the moment until we do that research. Hello, Mr. Bridge. You can't be there. We don't like that. That's a no-no. So we're going to fix that. You betcha. Yeah, you do that. Okay, there we go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put some labs down in here, get a little research going, while I get a little concrete stashed up. And you notice I've cut off any ability to store. So the only thing that this storage house can only do is store concrete. That's it. Gosh darn, there will be no traffic there. Okay, of course, I am going to have to probably do a little bit. Look at the lag. Wow, that's just crazy. We are going to have to do a little bit of production overview here. You know, I've got 105 people working in this. So we are going to have to make sure that we get a little bit of lab guys going on here. So we're going to put in some labs. Look at this. We need the lab, right? And for now, we're just going to put the lab. Oh, we'll put the lab here, I guess. And of course, we'll grab, like, man, the lag. Holy smokes. And of course, for this, I think we'll just line them up here, right? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I know there's not enough workers. Do you know what else I know? There's not enough workers. I know, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? So we're just gonna throw in some labs here. Now we should see trucks coming in with their carbon, and this is just gonna allow us get the farming going here. So we'll actually get in here. We'll get in selecting farming, but more importantly, I'd like to have solar panels. Now, I'm not so worried about. Yeah, well, I mean, we got to have it all eventually. That's not the point. The point is that I want solar panels, which of course means I need the green science, which means I got to go electronics anyway. So I got to go electronics, green science, then steel production and solar panels. And the reason, of course, is that it's all about the power, right? In this particular case, there is no way. I suppose you guys need power. I'm assuming someone there is going to need power, because you know what Mr. Lab here doesn't require power. Or is that what you're telling me? You're telling me that the lab doesn't need power? I would think the lab needs power, wouldn't it? You know, is that a thing? Is that not a thing? Listen, I was going to say, I know I have all kinds of carbon. Here come the trucks with all the carbon. I can't believe the amount of lag that the game has at the moment. It's pretty crazy. So, I mean, all we have is a bunch of houses. 2/3 of them aren't even hooked up. Now, yes, and, you know, we could support 7,000 population if we hook up to all the houses, but they won't move in anyway. So, nevertheless, we're just going to let it go. It's not like these people are going to be starving for oxygen or anything like that, right? I am not worried about that. Nope, not worried at all. In fact, what I'll probably be doing is I am probably going to cut off part of this city, like, say, here, right? Like, cut off the city here. And then only these houses here will make sure that has all the O2 that they could ever want. And then we'll just use that as our settlement for a while. So we've done our research. There we go. Look at that. We are awesome. Of course, now we need to grow this into a settlement. I believe there are conditions for settlement. Yeah, so we need, well, you need at least 5 level 2 citizens. Wow, that's not going to be that hard. I just got to put 1 farm down to get that. And then, of course, we're going to grow. Now, before we do that, we'll let that go for a minute, right? Because they're going to stock up, right? That's what they're doing. They're stocking up their stocky up things. There's a lot more to go on this. So in this particular case, I have to, obviously on the streets, the houses, they all need their side streets, right? So these are double streeted and then housed again, right? These open spots here are for the bigger things like, you know, the parks and the arenas. Now, that being said, I just read the Coles notes on the latest patch, and I hear parks and arenas now allow for even more things, right? Which is pretty cool, right? So that's a big game changer, and so we may be able to use more of these spots for even more houses. I know, it's pretty crazy, and that's what we're gonna do too. We'll house plug this thing to death. So we're going to I'm going to keep adding streets, and of course we're going to let this blue research happen, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back one more time for this episode, and we're gonna knock off a few farms, right? We're gonna knock off a few farms, make a few people happy. I don't think anybody's living up in these houses anyway, right? Yeah, 0 of 8. Yeah, these are all 0 of 8s, right? So all the people are probably living down on this road here. So I think what we'll do is we'll cut the roads off right there, right? And then we'll firm it up a little bit. That way there's enough housing here for a couple of hundred people, which will be more than enough for me to kind of keep things cranking for a bit. So I'll bring it back one more time. Gonna add some more rows, gonna add some more houses, gonna let these guys do a thing, and then we're gonna split this in, add some farms, and we're gonna push for settlements. See you in a sec. Well, all right. As you can see, we got a lot of houses in. And we're still not done, but I ran out of concrete. So I thought, well, this is a good time to bring you back to do the final piece of throwing in some farms. Let's get a little bit of extra coming in, you know, because we do need 200 jobs. We only got 138 people in here. Now, one thing about these sections is that these 2 sections of the city and most of section 1, we'll have to call them districts. So District 1, this will be District 2, and I guess District 3 is in the back. Districts 2 and 3 are not hooked up. They got no power. They've got no O2 or any of that stuff, right? All I've been doing is putting in roads and houses, right? So of course that's the only thing going on there. Now here in District 1, as you can see right here, we have cut most of District 1 off from the first 4 or 5 rows. So the first 5 rows of District 1 are active. The rest, though, are inactive. Now, they have had their oxygen put in because they were connected to the roads at one time. So these have all got their initial oxygen, but no one can move into them because they can't get there. And of course, Mr. Spaceship, he's all excited. He's ready to go, right? So in this case, we now want to start putting in the foods of the things. Why do you look so out of place, my friend? Because you're not over far enough. I know it. I am pretty sure I can fit the food thing in here. Oh, did I ever measure that out just right? So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to start to give these guys the foods of the things, right? And let them come on down and be the next contestants, right? So we're going to... Thanks, lag. Yeah, the amount of lag. Wow, the amount of lag I am dealing with is crazy. So, of course, we're going to put in a little bit of food here for everybody. You know, because we're nice like that. And, you know, we're going to give them a little bit of food. Run it all the way down here. And this, of course, is going to start having them just come right on in here, and hopefully they'll be wanting to join our little party, right? Just like that. Sometimes I left myself a little more space than I thought I needed, I guess, but I guess I was being generous. Well, I mean, again, it wasn't like I had a ruler out here and I was measuring like literally inch by the inches, right? That definitely did not happen. You know, we took a little bit of, you know, creativity with what we needed to make this work. Now, so you'll notice I've also, out of the 5 rows, I've done this on every second row. And again, I'm just looking to see what these guys are going to be able to do, right? I know I'm way over on the O2 at the moment. So let's see what happens. We've got, you know, we got these guys in, right? They're going to start making, they're 33% efficient because we just don't have the people. Hey, listen, Mr. Ready to move in 1. Guess what? You better make it more than 1. Otherwise, this is going to be a very long day. Well, you know, we can cut back concrete for the moment. Yep. And yep, something like that. What do you need? You know, sulfur. Yeah, well, sulfur. Well, I mean, we're only using it for concrete. Like, you're not hurt. It doesn't matter to me any. Like, I could cut you guys right off. It wouldn't. It wouldn't hurt me at all. Like, you know, like there's 3 guys working in the concrete plant. There, see, look. Now suddenly there's only 2. It's perfectly fine. Oxygen takes 72 people. Well, listen. That's really weird. Look at how that number works. I don't know how that works. Like, what? Is it like, wow, that's really weird. Okay, can we do this? You know, like a 50-50 deal? Like, I mean, you know, come on now. Not everybody's eating here yet. We can obviously cut back the scientists because we're not doing anything with the science things. But we do want lots of people in the food because that's where we want you doing the food things. What are you doing? Are you going to empty that out? You are playing, right? Yes. Yeah. Take off. Go faster. Zip. Let's go. Okay. So we hopefully have people getting food. That would be great. Survival food. Well, we know there's a little bit of people. There's a few people getting food anyway. I guess that's good. You know, they're getting plenty of oxygen though, and that's important. You know, we are trying to fulfill the needs of the food people, and you know, we can probably cut this back just a little bit more. Oh, I don't like the number 0. Let's not do 0, right? Let's just. Why do you guys gotta be so mean about this, right? Something like that. You know, let's make sure that everybody's got the food, right? You know, we'll get a little people in here, right? This was always going to be the challenge, whereas you can't just fill up all these little residentials and then expand out, which is kind of unfortunate, but I mean, we're going to play within the mechanics of the game. So, of course, the big challenge here, of course, is that we want to see this number start going up, right? We're at 138, right? You know, come on, people are moving in. Yeah. Well, that's what we want. We want people moving in. You're not delivering the people fast enough, mister. Let me tell you, we may have to buy another one of you. I don't think I can afford to buy another one of you. I can afford to buy another one of you. Guess what? Yay, congratulations. Well, obviously somebody upgraded, right? Is that what you're telling me? Someone upgraded? Yeah, we got level 2 citizens somewhere. I'll go find them in a minute. Yay, so I finished it. Oh, there they are, look at these happy-go-lucky people. Look at them. They are so happy. So, of course, hey, you know, well, it's one more person. And there's the other one. Look at that. Yay for you. Look at that. You got some food. you look pretty happy. So of course we're gonna slam down more food. I'm gonna try and prop these guys up a little bit, of course. And so what are we doing next episode? Well, we're gonna keep propping these guys up some. And I just seen another habitat upgrade. Yeah, upgrades, people, upgrades. One person lives here. Upgrades, people. It's important. You know, we have 289 jobs. Now, that is because, you know, we have a couple hundred jobs in O2 machines that we're not even using at the moment, right? And that's kind of the, again, what I really wish we had was an on-off switch. I would just go to this machine, say off, click, and then it would hold no jobs. And then those jobs would go to where I want them. In fact, I am going to put that in as a suggestion, I think. The on-off building switch. Like, if I don't need you for the moment, switch you off. I don't want to have to destroy you. I just want to turn you off. Perfectly fine, right? But we're going to let these guys build up a bit. It's going to take a little bit, right? You know, it's not like this is going to be no rush on this one. So next time we're going to continue on. I'm going to continue on filling out these guys. May even get their power lines run in. Just got to wait for concrete to keep building up and stuff. You know, at least get the power hooked up. A few other things. And what are we going to do? Well, then, of course, we're going to push on with some science, right? Because we need science to do the things. So with that, I'm Max. This is InfraSpace, the experiment, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.